Hello students, in the previous class we will learn about variables. We know now variable is basically a memory location. It is a hardware device and it is available to the programmer through declarative statement. In the declarative statement, the programmer specifies two things for the memory location or memory register, that is its name and its data type. Once the programmer gives name to the memory location, that name we call as a variable name and specifies its data type, then he can use that memory location, that is store the values in it or retrieve the values from it, that is he can perform read and write operations. Now how he can do those operations, we have been learning that also. He can do it through assignment statements, he can do it through scanf or printf. So variable is accessible through a variable name. Now each location or a variable has an address and that address is called as a physical address of that location. That address is again in binary, and we have already discussed that remembering such addresses is very difficult. Therefore the way out that was developed in order to overcome this problem was to give a name to this location and then easily access that location with a name. In the previous class we have learned the declarative statement. I have started with the basic form in which first I give the data type and then I give the name of a variable followed by a terminator. This is the form that we studied in the first class and we have been using this form in the programs that I have done so far. Now today we are going to learn two things, that is the second form of doing the same thing but with one more addition, that is assigning the value to the variable at the point of declaration. In this statement, that is statement second, this is again a declarative statement in which first I am giving the data type and then the name of variable, then I am using an assignment operator and I am assigning a value to the C. If you remember, we have not been doing like this in the previous programs. So if we use method 1, what is the limitation or what is the outcome of that method is that A does not have the value that is assigned by the programmer in the first step, that is in the declarative statement. It has a value that we called as junk value. That value that the programmer has not given but the system has generated that value itself when we switch it on the power, because when we switch on the power the memory itself gets certain zeros and ones, because zeros and ones are stored in the form of voltages. Today we are going to learn one more thing, that is the general syntax for creating a variable or set of variables. The syntax is same as the previous two syntaxes with the difference that you can create more than one variable names using a single statement. This makes us easier for creating multiple variables, but these variables should have the same data type. Again, you will be using the option of giving them a value or leaving them without a value. In that case they will be holding the junk values. The third example that I am giving here illustrates that. In this statement I am creating three variables v, j and k, but I am not giving any values to either v or j or k, that is I am not giving any initial values to these variables. Now in the next statement I am creating three more variables, that is b, h and k, and I am giving an initial value to h but I am not giving any initial value to b or k. Now giving initial value to h is called initialization at the point of declaration. Now let us go into the compiler itself and check up what are the different ways of declaring a memory location. The memory location can be only used once it has been declared. That is, it can be used in other statements like assignment statements or iterative statements or conditional statements or any other statement. Before that, it has to be declared. If it's not declared, you cannot use the variable. By using a variable means mentioning variable name, but we have not declared that variable in the declarative statement. Let me make it clear. Initially we give the data type of the variable. This we have done. I give the data type as int, and now I then name the variable as a. Okay, I can give names of variables in small letters or capital letters, that is in uppercase or lowercase. That freedom is given to the programmer, and I can name the variables not by just single alphabets but with more than one alphabets. I can give them proper names. That we'll also see once we discuss the variable names. Now in this case I have created a variable a, that is I have declared a variable a, and the compiler will provide me the memory location, and it will give the name a to that location. That is, it will bind the name that I have given, that a programmer has given, to that location. Then the programmer can use that location for putting his data or retrieving the data from it. Why the programmer has to use the memory? Because every program has input and output data. That data needs to be stored in variables. Now I have declared a variable a, but I have not given any initial value to it. If I print the value of this variable, then format specifier, you will see that since the programmer has not given any value to it, it will display some value which we have not given. That value is given to it by the machine. Let us check it out. Let us first compile the program and then run the program. Now I run the program. If I check the output, you see there is some value called 0 there in the a, which I have not given. This value is called junk value. This value can be anything. The programmer will never have an idea what this value will be. This value is automatically in the memory once we switch on the system, because we have named some memory location as a. Therefore that value that is present in the a will be displayed here. Now let me clear the screen. And these two statements, getChar and CL or SCR, you need not to worry about that. You are mainly concerned about a declarative statement and printf. But the clear screen will clear the screen, and getChar will wait for till we press some key. Now once again I compile this program first, then I run it. I run this program, and let us see the output again. See, it is again displaying a junk value which we have not given. When the program is next time run, it is not necessary that a will be bound to the same location where it was bound previously. Binding a variable name to a variable is assigning a name to the variable or memory location. Now let us declare another variable and give a value to it. This we have not tried so far, but this is a part of syntax, that we can declare a variable, and on the same line where we have declared a variable, we can give the value to that variable also. Okay. Now I'll print the value of b. That is after this statement. Now, in the first statement I have declared a because I am programmer. In the next statement I have declared b, but the difference between the first statement and second statement is, in the first statement I am not giving any value to a, therefore it is having junk value. But in the second declarative statement I am giving the value 10 to the b. In that case, initial value of b should be 10 instead of the junk value. Let us compile the program and then run the program. See, the value of a is junk, but the value of b is displayed as 10. So now we can use the combination of these to create other variables. Like, I declare a variable c, comma, l, comma, m. In this statement I have declared 3 variables. Now to l I have assigned the value, suppose 9. So I can declare multiple variables in a single declarative statement, or single variable in a declarative statement, or 2 variables. This depends on what is your requirements, but there is a freedom that is given to the programmer, and with this knowledge we can now understand what is the general syntax of the declarative statement. The declarative statement has the first part, that is the data type, then there is a space, then we give the name of a variable, then we have a comma, this is again the part of the syntax, then we give the name of a variable, and we can give the value to the variable. So all the variables that can be created in a declarative statement, you can give value to them, or you can give value to some of them, or you can give value to none of them. That is your choice, and as per your requirements you can do that. But you have this option available that you can give the value to a variable. I'll again compile the program. So there is no error. Let us go again back. Now this syntax you will be using, that is the syntax labeled as 3. It has the data type, then variable name, equal to value, but equal to value is optional. That is why I kept it in square braces. Likewise in this syntax, that is the second one, we have a data type, variable name, equal to value is optional. You can give that or you cannot give that. That is why we had syntax 1 possible, because again equal to value was optional. Programmer can specify it or he cannot specify it, but the syntax gives him option, he can give the value to a variable. So the general syntax is now data type, variable name 1, followed by the value, we assign a value to it, then so on and so forth. You can as many variables as you want to create, and in the same pattern that you can do for variable 1, those options are available for all the variables, and the statement should terminate with a semicolon. Important requirements are, now there should be a data type, there can be 1 variables or n variables. Out of those 1 variables or n variables, you can assign the value to the variable you want, and you can leave some variables unassigned. This depends on your requirement or the problem that you are going to solve. Usually it is a good practice to give the initial value to the variable, because otherwise we will be working on the junk values if we accidentally use them in our programming logic. I hope this is clear. Now there is one more option here. Go back again to the compiler. To make it clear, let me delete these statements. Yes, I forgot to tell you one thing. Suppose now in this program I have declared a variable a, but I am printing value of b, but b is not declared. Can I do that? Since b is not declared, there is no location that has been assigned with the name b. What will happen in this case? Let us compile and check it out. we get an error. What is the error? Undefined symbol. You will always get this error if you are trying to use some variable name which you have not declared in your declarative statements. Therefore, variable must be declared before it is used in the program. I hope this is clear. Variable has to be declared before it is used in the program. Now, the second option. Suppose I am creating A and I am creating B. That I am giving names to the two memory locations, that is A and B. The order in which the compiler knows A and B is through the declarative statement, or the order in which they are declared in the declarative statement. Therefore, the compiler knows about the A before it knows about the B, because A has been written by the programmer first, then the B has written. Now let us give an example of another statement. Int s comma f. Now that is, I am declaring A, then I am declaring B, then I am declaring S, then I am declaring F. The variables are always generated, or these names are generated from left to right in a sequence. Now the first A will be generated, then B will be generated, then S will be generated, and F will be generated. By the time we are at the point B, A has already been generated by the compiler. That is, by the time the compiler comes at the B, he knows about the A. So I can say B equal to A. See, this won't give me any error. Let me give some initial value to A and then explain it in a better way. Now suppose I am giving the initial value to A as 10 and I say B equal to A. That means I am assigning the 10 to B also. In this statement I have created two variables, that is A and B. In the first variable A I am giving the value 10. Then in the second variable I am giving value of A as the value of B. This is what I want to make you understand, that in the single statement it is possible that I can assign the value of a variable which has been already created in a variable which is yet to be created. I hope it is clear. But I cannot do it in a reverse way. Now let me first compile this. So I can do it. Now if I say printf %d comma A, I am first printing the value of A, and that should be 10, because in the declarative statement I am giving value of A as 10. And then what should be the value of B? That should also be 10, because I am assigning the value of A to B. Let us run the program and see. First compile the program. We have already compiled, I think. Then we run the program. Once we run the program, see, the value of A is 10 and value of B is also 10, because we have assigned the value of A to B. Now let us do the reverse thing. Let us see if that is possible. This is higher C. What I am trying to do, I am declaring A and B in a statement. To the B I am assigning the value 20, and now to the A I am assigning the value of B. But since I told you variables are bound to the memory locations from left to right, now A will be first bound and B will be bound outwards. Once the compiler compiles this statement, it knows about the A first, then it knows about the B, because the programmer has declared A first, then he has declared B. Now if I try to assign the value of B into the A, the compiler in this stage, when it is at this point, it will never know about the B, so it will generate an error. Let me compile and show you. There is an error. What is the error? An undefined symbol. Even though B is declared, but it is giving the error. Why this error? Because during the compilation, the compiler knows about A, but he does not know about the B once the compiler is compiling this statement. So you can assign the value of a variable that is created first into the variable which is created later on, or which has been declared later on. I hope this is clear. Let us go back. Now we have cleared this. This is what I mean. The value we can assign to a variable can be a constant or the contents of another variable. See, I am assigning a constant here to the C, or I can assign the value of another variable to some other variable in the declarative statement, but there is the condition that the variable in which I am assigning another variable's value should be created or declared first before the variable into which we are assigning its value. Now, what is a variable? We know now variable is a memory location that can be modified at runtime, and the variable or a memory location has three properties now. One is the name, another is the data type, and third is the address. We know now what is the name. Variable name is the name given to the memory location. Why do we give names? I have already explained. Because remembering addresses is difficult. Now, we should always give meaningful names to the variables. Now, what are rules for naming a variable? The variable should always begin with a letter. Some systems permit underscore. I will read out these rules, then I will show you practically. ANSI standard recognizes a length of 31 characters. Uppercase and lower cases are significant. That is, uppercase variables and lower cases variable are taken as different if they have a same name. It should be not a keyword. Variable name should not be keyword. Variable name should be unique. Void spaces are not allowed in a variable name. Let us see these rules practically. And if we violate these rules, you will see that we will get errors in our program. Now, I told you we can give variable names as meaningful names. Suppose I store the salary of an employee, amount of salary in a memory location, his salary amount. I say salary of employee. I have given the name salary of employee to some memory location that compiler will give me, and I am binding this name to that location. Now, can I give spaces? If you see, as per syntax, first I have given data type, then I have given a variable name, then I have given the terminator. Will this name be allowed by the compiler? Let us compile and see. There is an error. You cannot give variable names with spaces. You have to remove the spaces, that is, you have to type it continuously, then only the compiler will accept it. So variable names cannot have spaces. This is the first rule that we have tried today. If we compile now, there is no error. Okay. Now, the second rule was variable name should start with a letter. Suppose I start the variable name with a digit. That now I have given this variable as a name, one salary of employee. Will the compiler accept it? Again there is an error. Variable name cannot start with a digit. Second rule, there are certain characters that are allowed in the variable name and certain characters that are not allowed. Let me try this character first. This character is called as a underscore. I give now name of the employee as salary of employee, but in place of space I give one more character that's called underscore. This it is at the bottom is called an underscore. Now variable name is salary of employee. It is continuous. There are no breaks. There are no spaces. So it is allowed. I'll see whether underscore is allowed in the variable name or not. If I compile, no error, so it's allowed. Underscore is allowed in the variable name. Now let me try to modify this variable name further. If I put a dot here, that is salary of dot of employee. Now this is a variable name that is continuous. It does not have any spaces, so I am not violating that rule. That variable name should not contain spaces. So let me compile. Again I am having errors. What does that mean? This dot character is not allowed in the variable name. So there are certain characters that are allowed in a variable name, and there are certain characters that are not allowed in a variable name. Underscore is allowed, dot is not allowed, star is not allowed. Why certain characters are not allowed? Because these characters have special meaning in C. Now let me try to create another variable, and I give the variable name of that as float. Let us compile and see what happens. It gives errors. Why? You are giving the variable name as float. The keyword cannot be the variable name, as we have told you that int, float, char, double, these are keywords. So keyword cannot be used as a variable name because keywords have special reserved meaning for in C. I hope it's clear now. Now there is one more rule, that suppose I can give the variable name like S1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. This is possible. S1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if we count this, these are 10 and 11 characters. 11 again, these are 10 more. 10. So the first one is 10, then I am giving again 10 characters, then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now after that these two more, so this is 10, 20, then 30, 31, 32 characters I have given. Let me copy this. Variable name again. Now I have got two variables with the same name. Let us see if this is allowed or not. Let me compile. There are errors. What is the errors? Multiple declarations of the same variable. Why I have given this name with such a variable with such a big name? There's a reason, but I will explain two rules here. The first rule is that two variables names cannot be same. So this is another rule. Variable names should be unique. If you give two variables with the same name, then the compiler will give errors. I hope that is clear. Now if I have got two variables with the same name, but one of the characters differs from other variable name by the capital. Now see here, I have got this variable with same name as this variable, but s is small in this variable and s is capital in this variable. Will the compiler accept it? Yes, there is no error. That means two variables can have same name, that is they can have same name, but if one of the characters is in uppercase in one variable and it is in lowercase in another variable, they will be taken as two different variable names. Even though in English it is not like that. Two words with the same what you call spelling are taken as same words even if they differ in the case. That is, if you write happy in uppercase or lowercase, it will be same. But in C, if you write happy in uppercase and happy in lowercase, it will be taken as two different names. That is why C is called as a case sensitive language. That is, it differentiates between uppercase and lowercase. This seems to be something ridiculous, but C compiler has been designed like that. That is, you can have two variables with the same name, but they should differ in their case. Now you cannot have two variables with the same name which match in case at every place. So that was the first rule, that is variable name should be unique. Now variable name can have same spelling, but they should differ in case. This was another rule. Now we have got another rule. If you see this variable name and this variable name, if you count the number of characters in this variable name, it happens to be, this is 10, then this is 10, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32. Let me make them first with the same name. Now these two variables have the same name. If I compile it, it will give errors. Now suppose I add 2 A's at the end and I add 2 more A's at the end here. Now total it becomes first 10, then 10, then 10. These are 32 characters. Then these are 32 characters. If I compile here, or see, I'll get errors because these two names are same. It will say multiple iterations of the same variable. Now if I make this 32th character different, let us see what happens. Now this variable and this variable has same name, except that the last character in this variable is capital and last character in this variable is small. Let us see what the compiler does. It is still giving the errors. Why? I had told you the rule that two variables can have same spelling, provided one of the what you call variables is having some alphabet in a different case, because C is case sensitive. But what is happening here? It is something different. Now that rule is true till they differ in first 31 characters, and if the difference is after the first 31 characters, this rule will have no meaning. The rule I'll read out and I'll explain at that time. Now the first rule, that is they must begin with a letter. We have seen that if they begin with a digit, it's a problem. Some systems permit that we can start a variable name with an underscore, no problem. Again, if you start with a dollar sign, it will lead to errors. You can try different options on the keyboard and you'll know what is allowed and what is not allowed in a variable name. I cannot do all those options right now. You have to try them yourself. Now ANSI standard recognizes a length of 31 characters. That is, within first 31 characters, there should be the difference between two variable names. And if they are differ in first 31 characters, then they can be treated as two different variables. And if there is a difference after 31 characters and they are similar up to 31 characters in the case, and then those two variables will be taken as two similar variables. That is, variables names should be unique up to the first 31 characters. And if they differ after the 31 characters, even if they seem to be two different variables, but they will be treated as same variables. Now upper cases and lower cases are significant. As I have told you, we can have two variable names with the same spelling but case difference. They will be treated as two different variables. The variable name should not be keyword. I have explained that rule also. It should be unique. This I have explained. White spaces are not allowed. Once you put white spaces in your variable, it will lead to errors. So these are rules for naming a variable. And variable names are created by the programmer. So programmer has to keep all these rules in his mind, and if he violates rules, he will get syntax errors. Variable names are called as user defined names. They should have been called as programmer defined names, but we call certain names that are created by the programmer as user defined names. Like one of the example of user defined names is variable names. There are other examples also, but the rules for creating such names will be same. For example, if you name functions in C, the same rules will apply there. That a function name cannot start with a digit, or you cannot have the spaces in function names. Same case with the array names. I have used the name of functions and name of arrays here. You don't know it right now, but later on when you read, you will understand what I'm saying. Now next comes the data type. As we have told in the declarative statement, the programmer specifies two things for the variable. One is the variable name and second is the data type. These two are the properties of a variable. And the third property is the address. Now data type is the property of a variable which determines first the type of values that can be stored in a variable. For example, in character variable you can store a alphabet. In integer variable you can store the numbers without a decimal point. In float and double you can store the numbers with decimal point or without decimal point. I think this is clear. Why that is so? What is the technical reason for that? Again, you have to study architecture for that. But I'll try to give some idea later as we grow with the subject. Now, what are the types of operations that can be performed on the variable? That will be also determined by the data type of a variable. For example, there is no meaning in doing adding two alphabets or subtracting an alphabet from another alphabet. Then, on integers and real numbers, that is floats and doubles, we can do such operations. Now again, the data type determines the memory size of a variable. Note that variables of same data type have the same memory size, but the two variables with different data type have different memory size. Let us see the memory size. For character variables, the memory size is 1 byte. For integer variables, the memory size is 2 byte. For float variables, the memory size is 4 bytes. And for double variables, the memory size is 8 bytes. This is what I mean by memory size of a variable. So once we ask the compiler we need a variable, it will check its data type, and based on that check it will give that much of memory that is required for the variable. For all integer variables it will give 2 bytes of memory. For float variables it will give 4 bytes of memory. For double variables it will give 8 bytes of memory, and for character variables it will give 1 byte of memory. So the data type again determines the memory size of a variable. What is the biggest value or what is the maximum value that can be stored in a variable, and what is the minimum value that can be stored in a variable? Now character variables have the range of -128 to 127. Why this is numbers? Because in computers we cannot store alphabets. Now, these alphabets are to be stored in binary, and binary are numbers. Binary numbers are numbers. Now integer variable, it has a range from -32786 to 32767. If you try to store a value which is smaller than this value, it will not be in a position to store that value properly. And if you try to store a value which is larger than this value, that is 32767, it will not be in a position to store that value. Let us see this practically. Suppose I have a variable a that is int variable, and I am storing a large value that is greater than the value that it can hold. I have shown you the range. It is in some 32,000, but I am giving a very big number. Let us see what the a will hold. But a does not have a capacity to hold that. Its size is just 2 bytes, and 2 bytes are not enough to hold this much big numbers. 2 bytes are enough for holding the numbers whose range I have already given in the table. Okay. Let me clear the previous output first. I'll compile it again so that, because there were certain values that were present from the previous outputs. Oh, sorry. I have to give CLR SGR should be always given after declarative statements. That's why the compiler gave the error. Compile it. Now I run it. See, I am getting some different value. I stored this value in this, but I am getting some different value in product. Why? Because a cannot hold such a big value. This is beyond the value that is the positive retaining value of the A. So A has a limit from the positive side. Now let us try to make this number negative and see whether it can hold it or not. Let me first compile. Once I compile, let me now run. Again I am getting error. I am not getting the value that I have stored. Now let me make this small. Now it's okay. If I compile it, then I run it, because whenever you make changes to the program you have to compile it. Again it's correct value. When you are trying to store a value that is larger than the value that a variable can hold, there will be overflow. And when you are trying to store the value that is negative value, that is larger than the negative value that it can hold, there will be underflow. In case of positive values, there will be overflow, and in case of negative values, there will be underflow. This can be seen from the table that we have already given here. That is, if I have a variable integer, it can only hold the values from this range to this range. This is the negative range and this is the positive range. Same is true of float and same is true of double. But float and double store the numbers with the decimal point or without the decimal point. Since the size of the double is 8 bytes, it can hold larger values. It has a greater range. How we determine this range? For that you will have to binary number system. Now again we can modify the basic data types. Now these four are called as basic data types or primitive data types or fundamental data types or compiler defined data types. There are also other types of data types that are provided in the C. These are derived data types and user defined data types. I will not discuss about those two types here, but you can remember right now there are three types of data types that are supported by C. One is the primitive or basic or fundamental or what you call as compiler defined data types. Then we have data types that are called as user defined data types. Then we have data types that are called as what you call as derived data types. What we are studying right now is the primitive data types or basic data types. Now these primitive or basic data types can be modified by using certain keywords called as qualifiers or modifiers. These are of two types, that is qualifiers and modifiers are of two types. One is the size modifier, another is the sign modifier. Size modifiers are of two types again, long and short. Then sign modifiers are again two types, signed and unsigned. I'll take a separate lecture on this. That will see later. No need to worry. Now, the last part, the last property. I discussed that variable is a memory location, and that location has got three properties. One is the name that is given by the programmer. Second is the data type, and that is again given by the programmer. Third is the address, but the address is not given by the programmer. Address is already present in the system, physical address of the memory. That address is given a name by the programmer. Address will not be given by the programmer. Is it possible to know the address that we have given a name? Is it possible to know the address of the memory location for which we have given a name? Suppose I say int A, now I have given the name of location as A. Can I know the address of that location? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How do we do that? We do that using certain operators, address operators. Then can we access a memory location with the address? Yes, that is possible using pointers. That we'll study in pointers. Accessing a memory location means storing a value into it, that is writing a value into it, or reading a value from it, or retrieving a value from it. So accessing a memory location means performing a read or write operation on the memory. You should remember this is a technical word, accessing a memory. Now when I say variable A, it means a location whose name is A. Now onwards, when I say, this is a certain terminology that I need to make you familiar with. Now when I say variable A, that means a memory location whose name is A. When I say the contents or value of A, it means what is stored in A. And when I say address of A, it means the physical address, that is the address of the memory location in which the A is stored. Now that physical address will never change. You cannot change the address of a variable or a memory location. Nobody can change it. That is hardwired. That is why I told you addresses are fixed. I hope in this lecture you have learned now some more concepts, and I have explained the declarative statement in detail. That. Thank you. Thank you for watching.